All right, welcome everyone to an introductory overview tutorial of Breakout EDU. Today we're just learning about the basics of Breakout EDU, how you might want to use it in your classroom, and like how you can use the website to find different games or activities. So we'll start with what it is. It might be a new tool or new app for you to use. So Breakout EDU is an immersive gaming platform. Its goal is to transform teaching and learning in the digital classroom. Perhaps you have seen the Breakout kits at your brick and mortar school. They're those big black boxes. They came with a bunch of locks. And the idea was to turn your classroom, your physical classroom, into an escape room. Of course, we can't do that anymore, but Breakout EDU has definitely taken some time they've always had digital games, but they've definitely taken the time to turn a lot of their games into digital games. So you can kind of turn your classroom, your virtual classroom, into a breakout or escape room. There's a series of riddles that they're going to have to solve in order to finish the whole story or the whole puzzle. And so we'll talk about different ways that you can use this in your classroom, but the idea is that they're using critical thinking, that they're using problem-solving skills, they're collaborating with one another to solve these riddles and activities. So the website is, the link is here in the slide deck, and I'll make sure that I post the slide deck along with this presentation. Everyone at the VSS has a paid subscription to Breakout EDU. So you don't have to worry about creating an account or paying anything or any of those sorts of things. You have an account. If you don't, let myself or Margine know and we'll get you added. But if you click on the link to the website, all you're going to do is click the login button up at the top corner or hover over it and then click on Teacher. And then it'll ask you to log in either with an email, but in our case, we're going to use our Google accounts from Halton. So you're going to click on the Google option, your school account, and it should just let you straight on in because you have been signed up, hopefully, for the site. If you haven't, if you're running into difficulties, please let us know. And then it'll bring you to the main page. So you'll see there's some featured games at the top and lots of different subject areas down at the bottom. Sorry. So what you will find, there are physical games, and we're going to kind of avoid those for now. Maybe when we get back into the school buildings, we'll start using those physical games again, but we're kind of ignore those for now because we can't use them at the virtual school. The two that we're going to focus on today and talk about are the digital games and then the digital game builder. So the first thing we're going to start with, and if you're really new to Breakout EDU, the best place to start is with the digital games. This is a great place to start. So there are two ways that you can search for games. You can either use the search bar at the top for a specific topic. So let's say you're teaching, a certain math concept or an English skill, or you're looking for some sort of history topic. You can just put that topic in and see if they have a pre-existing game. Or you can use the subject icons below. So I'm going to switch right here, go back to Breakout EDU's website. So you can see here, this is the search bar. And what I might recommend is that you click off digital. So they have two options here, digital and kit. So the digital will let you just search for digital games, and the kit is the physical ones. And we don't want physical games. So when you're searching, you can filter it by just looking for digital games. And then you can see that they've got all kinds of categories down here. So there are languages, the arts, career tech, computer science, library, math. If you just want a straight up team building game, maybe you just want to do some like a minds on breakout activity or earlier on in the course when you're just trying to have students get to know each other. You can also, this little like tick bar here on the side helps you filter. So you might want to search by grade. So they do have games starting for kindergarten. And that might not be as applicable for our school. So if you wanted games that are for high school students, you can break down science right into the different science areas. Same thing with social studies, languages. They have games in Spanish and in French. So lots of different options there for you, but you can go through and search this way. And then how might you facilitate? So once you've found that game that you really want, you are going to click on the play game code, and then copy the link that comes up in the Omnibox or in the link at the top, the address bar. And then that's what you're going to share with your class. So after you've clicked on the play game button, the link that appears, that's what you'll share with your class. If you have a really small class, so I'm teaching a class that's quite small right now, we just do it together as a class. But for our larger classes where you have 20, 30 kids, this is a great opportunity to put them into breakout rooms and have them work independently in those breakout rooms. What they need to do is when you divide your classes, they need to choose a leader, because only one person needs to click on the link and work through the puzzles. So divide them into teams, have them choose a leader, share the link either in the chat of the Google Meet, or you can post it on your Brightspace page. Only the team leader needs to click on that. And so when they click on it, they will present their screen, and then as a group, they'll work through the activity. Okay, and I'll kind of give you an idea of how you would do that. So one game that I have used recently was Neonated Oliver. So I'm gonna search opinion with teaching opinion writing in my English class. So this is the one that I used. It is an essential level class, so I was okay that it was at the 4th or 5th grade level, but you can see what's right here is that it'll tell you the grade levels. It also tells you if a kit is required or if it's a digital game. So as you're searching through, you can see those sorts of ideas, it gives you an idea of any content area that it connects to. So this was the game that I used with my grade 9s. In here, you can see that it gives you the story. You as a teacher also get to find the answers. So if your students are struggling and they need hints, you have the answers right here. There's also an explanation of how they might come to those answers, so you can give those hints. What I talked about before I click on the play game button, there's also reflection questions. So if you wanted to debrief after the activity, it gives you some questions to talk about as a main class meet. So like this is really a whole lesson kind of in one, where you can introduce a concept or review a concept and reflect together as a big class, or have them do that in their breakout groups. When you click on the play game, the big black button that says play game, I don't know if you can see this because I'm just sharing a tab, but at the top there, whatever link appears in the address box, that's what you're going to copy and share with your class. So that's the easiest way to get involved with Breakout EDU. That's the easiest way to start into this and to kind of make your class a little bit more interesting. And I would take some time to just like really look through and see what's available for your subject area, because there's tons. There's some that have been made by users, so people who are not from Breakout EDU. Some teachers make these, and that's what we're going to start talking about here, is that there is actually a digital game builder. There's going to be another lunch and learn on Friday, I believe it is, where they're going to give you some tips and tricks on how to use it. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of how to maybe access it and ways you might use it in your classroom. I'm not going to get into too many details on the functionality of it, but there is a digital game builder as an option. So either you as a teacher can create a game, because maybe there isn't one on the specific content or subject or topic that you want to cover, so you can make one. You can also have students make them as well, maybe as a group activity. So in my slide deck, there's a video. I'm not going to play it right now, but there's a video in here about how to create those games, how to go about doing that. If I head back to Breakout EDU, you can see at the top that there's my account. And you can just click on the create new games, or if you have some in progress, go to my digital games. But you can create new games just really easily by going to create new game, and it'll give you some different options. So do you want just one single puzzle? Do you want it to be non-sequential so they can do it in whatever order? Or like you're telling a story, you can have them go from different lock to different lock. And from there, it'll give you prompts on how to create the game. You can also create a class. So, and then through there, you can assign games. You might have seen the button on the game. Let me go back if I can to the Oliver game. There's the assign button. So if I had a class in here, I could assign it to the class, and then they could work through it independently. Maybe as maybe you have those learners who work through the material really quickly, and you want to give them something meaningful to work on, but not something that necessarily the rest of the class is going to work on. You could assign them some breakout games if you've created a class. So let me head back here. So you can, and the students don't need to give out too much information. It's similar to Turnitin, where you would have given a class code and they'll join and they can just give their first name and last initial. They don't need to put in an email address. They don't need to put in any personal information. So it's okay for us to use in Halton. There are some instructions here on creating a class, how to assign games, how to have students design some games, which would be a really fun collaborative activity in your classes if you wanted them to, like if you're reviewing for a test, they could make some games and then they could share them with each other as a fun way of reviewing a unit or a concept. So at this point, we're about halfway through the time. So I want to give you some opportunity to really just go and have a look and look at some games that you might use this week.